Hello and welcome, my friends and viewers, to this week's episode of Legendlore, where I draw pictures of monsters, characters, gods, and other things from D&D 5th edition, while giving a small but quickly digestible history about them. Together we'll go over their origins within the game, how they're utilized in the modern edition, and how I like to utilize them in my own games. Today we will be taking a peek into the dark side of things with the criminal god of thieves, Mask, the Lord of Shadows. Mask first appeared in 1st edition D&D as a lesser power, the loner god of shadows and thieves in Faerun. Ruling from his keep on the Shadowfell, his portfolio included shadows, thievery, intrigue, and other criminal activities such as assassination. His holy symbol is a black mask made of velvet, tainted with red by either ink or blood. Mask bears a truly rich and intricate history, from temporarily relinquishing his godhood to the evil deity Shar, to releasing a world-devouring hound and pretending to be a magic sword. In specifics, Mask took the shape of a powerful blade known as God's Bane, wielded by a halfling named Sneakabout, and eventually the then mortal, later god of lies, Sirik. The beast he released, known as Kezek the Chaos Hound, was freed with the intent of Mask attempting to control it. However, it became heavily apparent that that was not an option, especially when Kezek bit off one of his limbs and Mask was forced to acquire a specialized sword named Houndsbane to fend him off. Later on in time, Mask would give his life and his divinity to the goddess Shar to repay a debt, the nature of which is largely unknown but possibly has something to do with him serving her as a herald in the past. But through his own convoluted machinations, he was able to return by reassimilating in the form of Drasic Riven, one of his former followers. This is a very bare-bones description of his antics, and I recommend looking up the rest of his lore for a clearer understanding because it truly is fascinating to read. As for Mask's church and clergy, their focus keeps to thievery, criminal enterprises, and stalking in the shadows, most outsiders viewing it as little more than an organized crime syndicate pretending to be a religion. Despite this possibly being very accurate, many make use of their abilities such as hired theft, assassination, and use of their informative spy network. Their religious rites include praying at night and the symbolic circulation of wealth, with the acolytes giving gold to the senior ranks and the high priest giving gold to the lowest ranks. Mask's allies are incredibly far and few between, with gods like Denir, Wukeen, Helm, Ogma, Torm, Tyr, and Saloon always working against his plots. Sirik and Shar have particularly earned his distinct hatred, mainly for their efforts to rend his power away from him. Yet Mask has always been very keen to try and form some alliance with the god Bane in recent time. I do suppose that it is helpful for a rogue to have a little muscle now and then. Mask is an incredibly confident deity, fond of intricate plots and schemes even when they go wrong or get him into trouble. Cool and cautious, he never really loses his temper, and often holds back biting comments, though his true physical form is wholly unknown to any. In my games, Mask's relation to Shar in his mortal life is more apparent in this history, in that he once served her as a warlock rogue before ascending to godhood. For her power, he gave up his face and his identity, a price that he was willing to pay for his ambitions. Beyond that, his place as a god of thieves and criminality marks him as a patron god for my world's biggest thieves guild, the Ring of Greed. In terms of classes that I like to align with Mask, there are Alchemist Artificers, all manner of bards, Trickery, Twilight, Knowledge, and Death Clerics, Echo Knight and Arcane Archer Fighters, Way of Shadow and Long Death Monks, Gloomstalker and Hunter Rangers, all manner of Rogues, Shadow Sorcerers, Hexblade and Archfey Warlocks, and Enchantment and Illusion Wizards. For magic items that I like to align with Mask, I once again turn your attention to the Cloak and Boots of Elvenkind, as well as Cloaks of Invisibility, the Charlatan's Die, Glabbered Armor, the Deck of Illusions, Goggles of Night and Object Reading, Gloves of Thievery, Oils of Slipperiness, Rings of Climbing and Mind Shielding, Boots and Scimitars of Speed, Cloaks of Displacement, the Ring of Free Action, and any magical finesse weapons such as daggers or short swords. For my homebrew magic item this evening, I've created something called the Lord's Long Cloak, a black garment that looks like an executioner's hood stitched onto a long cape. The wearer, while attuned to it, can use the item to change his appearance at will, as per the spell Disguise Self. This includes any items that they may be carrying, and additionally, each day they may choose one of 3 settings to emulate the effects of the following items: a Ring of Mind Shielding, a Brooch of Living Essence, or a Cloak of Invisibility. This allows the wearer to pick what sort of illusionary defense they wish to employ based on the situation, allowing them to remain undiscovered by their enemies. I've attached an item stat block in the description below. All things that happen in shadow and darkness, Mask is a witness to. To him and his faithful, the world belongs to those both skilled and willing enough to take it, and they strive to end each day with more wealth than they began with, be that gold, information, or anything else that can be of value. I want to thank all of you guys for watching, and if you want to keep updated on the next Legend lore, please subscribe to the channel and press the little bell icon in the corner to be notified of the next video. And please follow me on social media for progress on each art piece. And as always, comment down below on how you guys have used Mask in your games, and also what other characters, gods, or monsters you guys would like to see in upcoming videos. Until then, I will see you guys next time.